Awesome. All right. Hello there, everyone. Thank you so much for those that decided to watch this video and this interview. My name is Jada Cox, and I'm the Bystander Empowerment Specialist at the Sexual Assault Resource Agency.
And I'm Bass Wolf. I'm the Director of Outreach and Philanthropy.
Awesome. And today we have wonderful guest speakers who will be talking about the intersections of Hispanic/Latinx culture as it relates to sexual health. Do you both mind introducing yourselves?
Sure. My name is Malinda Britt. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a senior community health educator for Planned Parenthood and also the Promotores Initiative lead for our programming in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and West Virginia. And I'm joined by my amazing colleague and co-facilitator.
My name is Cristina Moraza, and I'm a bilingual family advocate for Total Action for Progress, TAP, in Roanoke Valley. And I work pretty much with Hispanic population in the area.
Great. Thanks, both of you, for joining us today. Jada and I organized this interview because September is both Hispanic and Latinx Heritage Month, but also Sexual Health Awareness Month, and we wanted to tie those two things together. So do you mind just telling us a little bit more about the work you do and the programs that exist at the intersections?
Absolutely. And I think it's fair to say that Cristina and I really live at the intersections of these things in our work together. We are part of an amazing community initiative called Casa Latina here in Roanoke, Virginia, and that has been kind of the hub for all of these different collaborations over the past few years. And we meet at the intersection of sexual health and the programming that we provide. So for the past several years, TAP and Planned Parenthood have been working together to offer programming specifically around sexual health education for parents of young people, because we understand that there's a need there that, like many people didn't receive comprehensive sex education growing up. I know I didn't. And that is true for people in the Hispanic community as well, but the difference is that there's a lot less resources in Spanish for folks. And so we have been providing a program called Seamos Honestos, or Let's Be Honest, for any Spanish-speaking parent or caring adult who wants to learn more about sex education, but more importantly, learn how to have open and honest conversations with young people about these topics that have often been really taboo. So Seamos Honestos is one of the programs that we definitely find that intersection on together in our work in Roanoke. And we are actually really excited because we're going to be starting a new program of Seamos Honestos. And because we've been in the pandemic, this program is going to be virtual again. So we'll start that October 11th. And it'll be on Monday nights from 6:30 to 7:30, and parents who participate in the program will earn up to a $60 stipend for the program that they participate in. So we're really excited to be offering that again. We had some really phenomenal parents and caring adults, grandmothers, aunts, just people who love working with young people in our last cohort and group. So that has been really phenomenal. And really the programs that we offer are all about how can we make things more accessible? How can we open up conversation? So we're also offering a program called Familias Hablando, which is on the first Thursdays of every month from 6:30 to 7:30. And it's a space to just talk about more specific conversations, and also to bring other people in from the community that can share about mental health, that can share about accessing healthcare, that can share about anything that is of matter to families that speak Spanish. And of course, TAP is a phenomenal partner, and I'll let Cristina talk a little bit more about, why these conversations are so important in her work.
Yeah, because actually it was my first time in Seamos Honestos we finished in spring, I think it is, and it was a big success. And it's exciting to be part of this program where people and parents and grandparents, because we have some grandparents too, they open up and they learn and they, can get the tools to provide a good health sexual education that I think that is so important in general. But talking in the Hispanic community is a tough subject to talk about it. So we are so excited that we are starting to work in the next one, and we can wait. I mean, it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, and Cristina, you often work with survivors and folks who come to TAP for services after they've experienced abuse, and I'm wondering if you would share a little bit about how sexual health comes up in those conversations, because I think that is something that you shared with me over the course of the past year.
Well, yeah, like a case manager of domestic violence, I take care of domestic violence cases, and they come to me because they have a DB situation, but it's something that is so they just like a work together, like domestic violence is guys, that it can be a lot of different kinds of domestic violence, and one of them is like sexual violence. So and the most of the times, a lot of times they just work together. So like a case manager, I have to navigate through this situation as well, and that's why we work with Sarah Roanoke. Sometimes I refer people with Sarah Roanoke that it needs some extra help, with therapies. But yeah, I mean, it's something that is so important to educate, and important to have somebody that can, navigate through this issue as well.
So we offer a lot of education programs, and then also, of course, Planned Parenthood also has health services. So our health center in Roanoke and also our health center in Charlottesville all offer expert, affordable healthcare, and we are able to offer those services with translation to our patients so that they can get the sexual health and reproductive health services that they need and deserve. And so that's something that we always want people to know about, that our services are accessible, that we open our doors to the Hispanic community and want to serve them in the best way possible. And we also have teen programming, which is not in Spanish, but because we think parents are so important in being able to have these conversations, we offer programmings for youth as well to encourage them to go to their parents and their caring adults as their primary sexuality educators. So we've had a lot of people in the Seamos Honestos program who have also had their young person in the Teen Connections program that we offer. And then that's opening up all these conversations, not only in the home, but also in the community. I was just talking with a friend earlier this week who I was sharing about some of our programs, and she said, oh yeah, I think my niece did that program, and we went, walking in the woods and we're talking about it. So it's really, this is meant to be programming that really spreads out and can support the whole community at large, because people are having these conversations and understanding how important it is that we take care of our sexual health. But we can't have those conversations happen if we aren't offering education, information, and services in Spanish in ways that are speaking to folks and their culture and letting them be the experts in that.
And I wanted to add as well that the next October 3rd, we're gonna have like a health fair event. I'm gonna be there myself. Malinda is gonna be there. So Casa Latina is gonna be there, and it's gonna be just for Hispanic population in the Treasure Park. So that will be a good opportunity for us to, offer our services and, get in contact with the community and, help them to have that information available for them. So it will be so interesting, and we are so excited to do that too.
Such amazing info. Thank y'all so much for touching on so many points. It actually sort of leads into the next question that I guess want to get more specific with other, agencies, organizations, spaces that may not be specifically catered to the Hispanic or Latinx community. Why is it important for them to be aware of the barriers that people that identify with that culture may face, and what are those barriers if they go to an agency or organization that doesn't have services catered to their culture? Do you mind speaking a little bit more about that?
Sure, Jada. I mean, I think it's important to first uplift that, you know, our Hispanic, Latinx communities are filled with incredibly resilient leaders, people who really are community driven, community minded, and who give so much to our communities at large. And they are faced every day with systemic barriers that don't allow them to get services and education and information in ways that should be their basic right. And that shows up in the way that they're, you know, in their lives and their health. We know that in the United States, 1 in 5 non-elderly Hispanic people do not have health insurance, are not covered. And people who don't have health coverage are, you know, more likely to have sexual health disparities in their lives, among many health disparities. And especially now during the pandemic, you know, Hispanic folks who are low income are being affected even more intensely by, you know, the economic disruptions and just health disruptions that are being caused by the pandemic. So absolutely, it matters. And making services more accessible so that people don't have to go to the emergency room for their services, but can actually go to a primary care doctor when something is hurting, not when something has become life-threatening, is so incredibly important. And so, yeah, we definitely think these discussions are important around how we can improve access. And we think education is important too. That's one of the reasons that our programming, whether it's Seamos Honestos or the support groups at TAP or our Teen Connections programs, are really all driven by a peer education model where we are learning together and then taking this information out into the world. So whatever we're learning about sexual health, relationships, decision-making, access to the services in our local community, we can share that out to other people in our community and hopefully, you know, make those discussions actually happen. Because a lot of times they aren't, and there are systemic barriers in place that are making it really challenging to have those conversations, or aren't looking at those conversations or giving them the importance that they should get.
Well, yeah, I agree absolutely with Malinda. Like, it's part of my job and my everyday job. You know, like, it's so hard for them. First of all, for the language barriers, that is something that, I mean, personally, at TAP and like a case manager, I'm trying to do everything that is in my hand to you know, get them to everything that they're gonna need. And sometimes it's tough because you don't have nobody that speaks Spanish in the other side, and I have to, you know, interpret it for them. And I can feel the struggle. And this is in health, sexual education, and in all the ways that in all the organizations that you can. So it's something that I'm so working hard to try to make everything available for them, you know, making translations for organizations. And I do it like a volunteer, and it's fine. But like an immigrant, I feel that in the past, and I know that it's important to have somebody that can understand you on the other side and they're scared to go places just because the language barrier. That is a big thing. And second of all, they don't know. Most of them, the legal status is not like they don't have a legal status, and this is another barrier they have in order to get to all the help and all the resources that they actually can have, you know, access. They don't know, so information is key. That's why Malinda and I, we're just working hard to make them, you know, feel comfortable just going and ask for things that they have the right to have. But yeah, the language barrier is a big thing.
Thank you both. So the next question is touches on what individuals can do who aren't within the Hispanic and Latinx populations, how they can best support providing access and services. And so far I've heard, knowing where to go for translation services, if that's not existent in your organization, and having translated materials available. What are some other things that people can do to, and Sarah obviously can do to, best support providing access to these services?
Thanks for asking that question, Bass. I think particularly within the realm of healthcare, there is often an emphasis on, building cultural competency and these skills. And that's really important. We want to make sure that the healthcare and services that we're offering are culturally competent and culturally relevant. But I think in practice, when we are working with people in the Hispanic and Latinx community and are not from that culture, from those cultures, not from those communities. I personally am not, I am 100% gringa. It's so important for us to, in practice, exercise cultural humility and recognize that Latino, Latinx, Hispanic people are not a monolith. There are so many different countries and cultures and regions and places where people come from. And so we don't treat people all the same way just because they checked that certain box in their form, and to be mindful of that when we are working with people, and to really celebrate all of the diversity within the community. You mentioned several things, Bass, about advocating for people's right to accessibility. So I think that comes everything from making sure that forms and services are bilingually offered, and also making sure that, programs are supportive for people who speak Spanish. We're about to go into Medicaid open enrollment. So do we have access to services in Spanish for people who are trying to get enrolled? Are we advocating for programs that can be made available to people who are undocumented? Just recently, Medicaid is allowing folks who are undocumented and pregnant to be enrolled in Medicaid, which is amazing. That wasn't something that was always true before. So there are ways that people who are not from the community can advocate for the health and rights of people who are Spanish speaking and have to deal with these barriers all the time. Cristina, what would you add?
I would think, I agree 100% with you. We cannot put everybody in the same box. Everybody have different cultures, even if they're from Latin America. Myself, I'm from Spain, so we have like a different culture. So yeah, trying to learn a little bit about them and try to understand, because they can be a little bit close community because they don't trust people that try to, so it would be a good thing that, I don't know, I would say add, for example, to just, volunteering with the community. That will be something that you can learn. You can just, know the people, embrace their culture. And I am so glad because, for example, this event that we're going to have, the Health First event, I'm going to have people from here that won't actually volunteer with me in order to get involved with the community, which is great. And I think that is the best way to know how they think, how they interact, how the problems, the issues, the barriers that they can have. So that way you're going to be able to help them. That is the way. Know them.
So great. I already feel so much more knowledgeable in what I can do. So I'm sure that information is definitely going to help a bunch of other people. And I guess with that said, to start wrapping up this wonderful, wonderful interview, how can people find out more information? Like if I want to volunteer with some events that you all are holding, or if someone wants to learn more about how to access your services, where can they go? Who do they contact? And all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I will also mention, Jada, that, there are so many amazing organizations serving our Latinx Hispanic communities. And so, we we can't do it alone. We offer, Planned Parenthood offers sexual health education and healthcare and advocacy. Cristina at TAP offers, so much support. Everything from, well, TAP is huge, but so they do food distribution. They do more programs than I even know. But when we all come together and under the mission of supporting our Spanish-speaking community members, then things are really possible. And so if anyone would want to partner, from the Charlottesville area, from Roanoke, from other areas of Virginia, to support sexual health education initiatives in Spanish or healthcare in Spanish, we would definitely want to partner. And that's all part of our Promotores program and that mission that we have at Planned Parenthood to make sure that this is all accessible. So we're always looking for volunteers, specifically volunteers from the Hispanic Latinx community who want to become promotores in their community, who want to share information and become leaders in health in their community. And we also welcome volunteers, interns who want to be involved in our work, and of course, partnerships with organizations that want to make this possible. So we definitely extend out, whether it's through sexual health or serving in certain communities in our area, we are absolutely here and available for that. And we want to meet with you. We want to partner with you.
The same in Casa Latina and TAP. I mean, we always need absolutely. We have different events. We have different, programs actually that we always need all kind of volunteers and help, and we're just waiting for them. And it's like, and I wanted to ask something about the promotoras. This is something that we start doing in Seamos Honestos, like the last workshop that we did. And I think that is very positive because it's people that already know, they have that information, that education. And that, it's like educating people in order to educate other people, which is so positive, in the community, in the Hispanic community. So that is a good thing that I guess we keep doing it.
So awesome. Well, the last question that I want to ask y'all is just to give you space on if there's anything else that you want to share that maybe we didn't touch on today, or any other information that you find important to help wrap this up.
Thanks, Shada. I think the only thing that I would add, especially since we're calling to you from Roanoke and neither Cristina or I are actually based in Charlottesville, is for anyone in Charlottesville or other areas, not Roanoke, to look for the organizations in your area that you can support that are led by your Hispanic community. We have so many, different places here locally, Casa Latina, the Latinas Network. There's so many good groups. And so really, seeking those out, we don't always have to rebuild or recreate the wheel. We can partner with folks who are pre-existing and build from there. So Cristina and I believe very firmly in collaboration and working together. And that is really what has made these programs possible. And we have so much more availability to refer and get support and services to the folks that we work with. And so I would encourage anyone listening to this in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month and Sexual Health Awareness Month to, get connected with your community in some way this month and find those intersections and where you can collaborate and expand from there. And if that happens to be working with us virtually, since that is where we are here in this pandemic, then we would absolutely love to have you and encourage you to be a part of the programs that we can offer from where we are.
I agree. So we can make it work. And I believe that when we get together, we can make magic happens. And I think that collaborations, because, one person cannot do everything. So you always need people that is, have different resources and put it together in order to, get the best resources for the community.
Thank you both so much. This was incredibly informative, incredibly inspiring, and I'm just so happy that we were able to discuss this today. And even though September is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month and Sexual Health Awareness Month, this stuff needs to happen all the time, year round. So for those, this should not be only during September, but all the time. And yes, thank you both so much. Such a pleasure. We'll also be sure to post any resources that you all want us to let other people know about if there's a flyer for these amazing events that are going on. Other than that, thank you everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more exciting connections to come with the It's All Connected interview series. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.